It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and Company alongside Yahsonn Tafari. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and Company alongside Yahsonn Tafari. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture.
Yes, global greetings. Welcome to another edition of Everything Agriculture here on Real Entertainment Network, where it seems like, miracles happening. You look at the screen and you see somebody and then bam, somebody just appear when you're going live and stream and so, so yeah, give thanks, we're just logging in for another edition. We want to say good evening, Oli. Want to say good evening to our good folks there also in La Amiga. Want to say a special good evening to the folks listening throughout the rest of the entire Eastern Caribbean. All the folks locked down wherever you are in the rest of the world, whether it's in America, China, Canada, Spain, Russia, Palestine, Israel. It doesn't matter where you are at this time. We really are grateful that you take time out on a Friday evening when you could be out partying, doing all kind of other things, but you make time to be with us here on another edition of Everything Agriculture, and we want to really thank you. We also want to thank the team, the Real Entertainment Network team, for giving us this opportunity to be with you and to be able to share with you on issues that we are very passionate about, especially where agriculture is concerned. And we want to thank you, the followers, the listeners, those who log in on the YouTube platform or the Twitch TV platform or on the Facebook platform. We truly appreciate you and we appreciate your comments and your feedback. And for those of you who also call in and make your contribution via the phone lines, we do truly appreciate you and your support and the words of encouragement as we trot along the road. And as I am on the ground now, I do get a bit of that feedback. To today, somebody was telling me, man, yeah, man, you might not see me, but I do listen, and I do pay attention, and some people tell me here and there that they log in and yeah, man, they're listening, and so I truly appreciate that. With that said, that to some extent is one of the things that we have to deal with, I think, as a people as we move forward, and we have to seek to really begin to inculcate in more so the younger generation, because to some extent I think that from an education standpoint, I know that it's very much more challenging for you to seek to change or implement change when it comes to the older folks. And if we want to use the agricultural analogy, we could use, how easy or easier it is to bend a young plant to get it to grow in the way you want it to grow versus trying to bend or break or bend a hard branch. The risk and chances of it breaking is much more than it just bending. So we do have a lot to do in terms of seeking to, encourage our youth to begin to think and think critically about a lot of what is happening, within and around them. And even for those, like you, Bankie, who is on the political arena and is looking to represent the people on that level, you have a task in terms of seeking to get the youth to begin to think more critically and not just swallow hook, line, and sinker things that are just presented, and or get caught up with the taking sides instead of really, digging into information and going and do some research for themselves and so on. So, with that said, I just want to say good evening to everyone, and I'll give Banky, our other host, an opportunity to also do his introduction and greet the people as well.
Yahsonn, good evening and greetings to everyone that is tuning in on this another Friday evening on the Everything Agriculture Show. Just want you guys to know we greatly appreciate you guys and we don't take you guys for granted. Yahsonn, as you said earlier, I mean, people do meet me at times, and even all of this week throughout the cultural festive season, and letting me know we do listen and stuff like that, and we appreciate the good work you have been doing. And so they're listening, not because they don't comment and stuff like that. So just want to let them know we greatly appreciate these things. I mean that they have a sound interest, and that is very important, because without agriculture we just don't exist. It's clothes, it's medicine, it's our food, shelter, fuel, everything. So and the main purpose of agriculture is just for our survival. So we'll be foolish not to take it serious and have it at the top of the pedestal. So let me say good evening to the folks in Oli, right here in Nevis, and Lion Mega over at the sister island, St. Kitts. So also the folks in neighboring islands, Saban Station, St. Martin, Montserrat, the US Virgin Islands, also the BVI, the folks throughout the whole Leeward and Windward Island, also the folks in the diaspora, North America, straight up to Canada, from the Florida Keys up to Maine, Boston, New York, Jersey, Delaware, Virginia, Atlanta, Texas, and everywhere else. Also the folks over in Europe, over in Asia, also in Africa, and wherever you're at the sound of my voice, whichever is appropriate. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Glad you're all tuning in. This evening we have a few topics to talk about. With food security, which is always a must. We can't overlook that at no time. The 2020 agenda, which was the 2025. No, it's moved, but we still haven't heard anything coming from the Department of Agriculture and the minister. Also, water management. I mean, if we're going to be increasing agriculture and something like the 2025 agenda, I mean, they're going to need more water to be used. So what policy and what management system put in place to encourage the farmers? Because if you kind this time, most of the farms in St. Kitts is just rain fed. Some farmers are now moving into drip irrigation. But if we move into drip irrigation, you need timers. Timers is what going to help you manage your water more properly. You can just turn on the water now, and then you're going to do something, you've waited on for 4 or 5 hours, even overnight. So it's important to add timers, which you can set it different times to come on throughout the day, which is more efficient. If they have it here for an hour at different stages of the plant, because still they need less plant than as a plant go through mature stages, you can increase the timer in a sense like that. So these are efficient ways, and the department have an obligation to encourage. I mean, these are things I've been pushing. That's the reason why I set the Madlet Indian Castle, Yahsonn. So the whole 40 acres is automated. Whereas my 4 acres, same, you know what I mean? It's the same as automated. So these things is efficiency. If you're going to be moving towards, when they go to the UN and all these places, they come up with all kind of terminologies, like they just learn a word, sustainability. It's supposed to be always be like that and efficient. These words just don't come up all of a sudden because a politician come to like play with using spells in as if like all of a sudden like we don't understand these things. It's all about protecting the environment, and that's what it's supposed to always be. So we can start off with food security, Yahsonn, and agro-processing especially. That you've been talking about the amount of wastage. Yahsonn, it's 2 days in Ira, Texas, Ira. You got too much mango put up in front of your yard, man. You have to get somebody to clean up that. You understand? Carry out, just stand, create a scene, stain up your pavement and all the things there. And this is throughout the whole of New my area and Hamilton area. I mean, there are mangoes on 2 sides of the road. It's just like, it's a pity. It's really, really, really sad. I mean, so it shows we talk a lot. It's just like someone told me when they had some sustainability and some was going on a couple of months ago. Nearly 600 people attended this, different agencies and stuff like that. And the Caucasian gentleman told them, I mean, you guys can talk a lot and full of ideas, But you guys just don't implement nothing. I mean, people gotta come and tell you these things in your own place that you guys just talk a lot. Just talk, and nothing forward. So we gotta change how we can and how we have been taught, we have been just programmed to flex a certain way, move a certain way, line up, and they're not teaching you exactly how to live. It's a control mechanism to make you comfortable to a certain thing. So we've been institutionalized. You see, the same way the schools is built is the same way everything else is built. You understand? Wherever you go to, if you go into a school, especially in the States, I even hear this school is doing now, the same thing in a locker room when you come to a football stadium or prison. Everything is basically designed the same. Cafeteria is a thing to mess with. You don't already know the layout. You see? Same thing with church is the same. We don't know which part this gun there and that gun there. Everything, the church and the courthouse is the same thing. When you look at it, they're looking down on you, but you not realize you're being programmed in a way to accept these things, and they're looking down and you're bowing down to them. So these is things I have to teach my youth and them so they understand. So they go out there, they're sitting, they can pay attention and realize because everything around you is symbols and signs and all them have meanings. So we live in a world of just completely sorcery. Oh, you don't believe in it, you believe in that, but you do it every day. You see, because we speak right now. Speaking in sentences, right? But the same sentence
Um,
you're gonna use when you sentence someone to prison the same way. So it's just to show you this, but we're not thinking about it that way and that kind of vibes because we don't understand how words are being used to manipulate you and to mess with your brain. So you got to focus, but you don't want you to focus. So distraction is what we're going to use to you. So you cannot. So when you see people say, well, oh, I mean, like agriculture. So I would tell them, well, I love the shades that you have on. I love your polish on your finger, or your eyebrow, or I mean your shoes, your sunglasses, whatever it is, because everything that you have on is resource that is mined from the earth. You see what I mean? And
right.
changing the atoms and farming different stuff. Then they make nothing. What they make is petroleum in a lot of different ways. You put it on your lip, in your hair, the plastic they may use, your belt, all kind of different stuff. We're not looking at stuff like that. The house they live in, the vehicle drive, everything is mining up the earth resources. That's just the reality. But we just and so but no, the primary part is what is looked down on. You see, the primary part is looked down on in a sense like that. But then and the primary part also, when it comes to mining, is the most expensive part where you're getting killed over too. And that's the fight is. So it's just depending when you're looking at that. When they're planting the food, when they come to mining of the resources, the minerals, we have in a sense to them have a higher value markup. They want to control that. Plus, they still must control the food. 'Cause it's the land you
but, but
need.
but to some extent, Banky, our people are at a level where they don't even see that as agriculture in terms of the mining industry. We tend to
Yes.
have a kind of selective mindset where agriculture is concerned. So you find, unless, like, with discussions like these that we have, where we seek to present some of these different areas and tie them into agriculture, because sometimes people don't necessarily see beekeeping and see fishing and forestry and,
Yes.
and those things as agriculture. They kind of see them as, different industries outside and in themselves versus making the connection to agriculture as they should be and they are. And so as you talk about the extraction of minerals, a lot of the synthetic, what is being synthetic fertilizers are basically extraction from rocks. Because a lot of
Yes. And
the
infuse in salts.
right, a lot of these minerals are minerals that are extracted from rocks. And then they're sold as mixed fertilizers. As you said, they're infused with different salts and different things and other different minerals that are extracted. And then they give you something that is quote unquote synthetic because of the other additions that are placed. But there are businesses that thrive on doing that. That's what they do. They make fertilizers. They, extract whatever minerals and so on from rocks, and they make that a business. And that's the agro business because the making of fertilizers
Yes.
is agro business. And so it is just a part of having some of these discussions and so on that we can also help to get people to see agriculture from a different perspective, and be able to want to gravitate to some of these different areas. And as we speak about from a different perspective, this is one of the reasons why I am thinking that there should be a much more serious push in the area of agro-processing and value added. Because if we are really serious about, revolutionizing the agro industry, if we're really serious about, well, we know we're not serious about the 20 by 25, 25 by 25 agenda anymore, because it seems as if they were just happy to get the excuse to now say it's 20 by 30 now. Because all of a sudden you're hearing nothing, absolutely nothing at all about 25 by 25. And in my thinking, if you had a 25 by 25 agenda, the argument that was presented by the 25 by 25 agenda was to seek to reduce the import bill by 25%. My thing is, even
Yes.
if they shift it 20 by 2030, you should still be seeking to achieve bringing down your import bill by even a lot more than 25%. So the fact that you start looking like you abandon that project and you try it aside and you're gonna wait until maybe 2029 to say you start getting gear for 2030, um, it's disappointing, very very disappointing, and I think that we should have stayed the course and seek to not just even meet the 25 by 25 agenda and then feel proud about that at the end of this year, but even seek to go a bit further and reduce it by less. And things like what we are seeing here with the fruits, the mangoes on the ground, and not seriously, doing as much as they can to really capitalize on such a well needed and high demand produce. We ain't even talking about the products from it yet, just the produce itself, because mango in itself is, high demand in a lot of different territories. If organized properly, they could be exporting the mangoes themselves. That is one thing. Organized even much better, you put yourself in a position where you could develop value added products and market and distribute value added products. And to me, we have done a wonderful thing, which if this thing is seriously planned out, Banky, and taken into consideration, then we could really have a serious end result like we're talking, because prior to Culturama, you have a wonderful mango festival activity, which highlights a number of things that you can make with mango, a number of ways we can utilize this mango. Why not seek to find a way to continue that straight through to Culturama? You use that catalyst, encourage the restaurants, encourage the bars, encourage whoever else to utilize the mango. I mean, Tourism Week, they focused on tamarind. I mean, every year they look at some different crop, which I commend as well. So I'm not trying to bash that in any way. I try to diminish that in any way. What I'm saying is, that mango is going to be around for at least a good bit of time during that time. Seek to capitalize that, and seek to capitalize on the amount of people you're seeking to encourage to come back home, Culturama, and come in for Culturama, and the visitors who are going to come in, give them that continued mango experience. And what I'm saying, don't just select some of the mangoes that you're taking, because we are seeing here on the ground. I mean, I saw a video where somebody was posting saying something about mangoes for free, but man, you don't need to see a video, Banky. We see it in our yards and
Yes.
our farms,
Of
right?
course. Yes.
There and begging for somebody to come and just say, eat me. I mean, I had a couple of activities here that I call mango buffet, where I just encourage people to come and eat mango. I mean, just come and help me eat, because there's so much, right? So serious, literally.
But yes,
Just
but
help
it's so funny that we have reached a part where a few would eat long mango, but when the masses just asking, and me probably don't even want to eat the jolly mango now. You see what I mean? Say just asking for one. I mean, imagine you're on an island that have over 200 varieties of mangoes, and the masses is just asking for
one
army
mango.
poly. From when we
One,
come to
one,
that mind frame, we used to eat teeny mango, I mean, seedy
Well,
mango. I mean, it's crazy. How we get to this point
well, you
where we
see,
just let don't.
this is why I think the continuation of the Mango Fest, like after the Mango Festival, is important
Yes.
so that we can also showcase a lot more of these different varieties. Because I think to some
But
extent,
let me say this to your
maybe
son. I think only here and Nevis really where this issue really lies because by doing the displays, displaying the mango and the different varieties of mango and so forth, there are some people who just love mango. It doesn't matter what variety it is, but it's just the masses here on the island of Nevis. And but when it comes to Saint Kitts and other islands, they just want give me all kind. They doesn't really matter. You see?
yeah. Well, I think the Amrapali has become a famous mango on the island, and I guess after being introduced to a lot of folks on St. Kitts, um, it became a favorite of the people on St. Kitts and become a high demand mango, so to speak. But being able to do more things with mango, um, would be a great um, thing in the sense of being able to promote mango on that level that we're seeking, and we would have less wastage, and it could also provide an opportunity for some serious revenue for the island, for the agricultural ministry, for the department, and also for the average individuals on the island. And I think it would also encourage as much mango as we have for people to really now take it even more serious and maybe have more orchards, more mango orchards, and seek to maybe specialize in various varieties and so on. And so that program where the agro processing is seeking to just seek out special varieties of mango can continue, and then there can be the adaptation and the marketing of other varieties. Um, I am not saying that not anything is wrong with, per se, having a need for various specific varieties of mango, like the processing is seeking for at this point. But I'm thinking when you have an abundance like this, you still have to think of a way of making those premium. Then have a premium price for those, but then maybe say, okay, you may pay $1 for the Amrapali and the Graham and the Julian. I don't remember the other mango that you were looking for, but okay, we will pay 50 cents or even 25 cents for the other variety. So at least somebody can still pick them up, bring them in. You can still um, juice them or pulp them and seek to offer a mixed pulp to people who may not necessarily be interested in a specific variety of mango, but at least you still get an opportunity to utilize a lot more of the mangoes that are now being fed to pigs or just left there to rot. Another thing I think there really needs to be that concerted effort, and I think this would be the marriage of the agro processing and the marketing in order to really make this something like this effective. Because after pulping all of this, eventually yes, because I think I don't know the amount of space they have up there, Banky, but if they were really supposed to seek to just pulp all these mangoes that are on
Yes,
the ground,
son.
they might
Yes,
have a
son. They
need for
have
some.
they have they have a they have walk-in freezer. Say 10 more than 10, 12 by 14 width and height over 6 feet. So you understand the kind of space about the square footage you talk about to fill to stack to the roof if you have shelves inside there properly and stuff like that. You have space. So you have space. Space is
So
there, and you can add more space
when
too. You see what I mean? You can add more space.
that's what I'm saying. If you have the demand, so that's what I'm saying. The marketing will have to be
The
tied
demand is
into.
there. the demand is there. Remember the hotels, those who do ice lollies and different drinks at the bars and restaurants, those the mango pulp and plus exporting and stuff like that is needed.
But that makes sense. Well, that means it just makes sense because you can't tell me that there's a demand for mango pulp and with so much mango wasting and the freezer that you're talking about in full of rampant. Because to me,
The
that should be
department
rampant.
had shipped
For
over
that not happening
500
there.
pounds of mango pulp one time to Anguilla, about a year and a half ago. I'm a bit can't time the fly so fast. Let's say a year and a half, less than that. I could be more. Cause I remember a year and a half ago the department anyway. So let me say 2 years. Then I send a next shipment yet. 500 pound of mango pulp. The people that want the pulp, they nothing change, It's when I send it. You see what I mean? We not organize in get when a cargo plane come to when I come
That
here
don't
till
make
I
sense.
and talk these things, it don't make sense. All right. What I'm saying, you can ask the director, when the next shipment of mango pulp going, and you see what I mean? It's the reality. The demand is there for these things, my virgin. This is not a secret. You could take
If you have
frozen
a
stuff, mango pulp,
that's what
back
I'm
into the
saying.
US in a virgin. If a man want to sell mango pulp in the US, they could take a frozen mango pulp to the US. Is not banned, Once mango pulp is frozen, that's an easy thing to sell in the States the same way, okay? You don't have the mango there, you could get a cooler mango pulp to the United States. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. You could slice your mango frozen and take them to the US. It's not a problem. It's the seed is the problem that having the weevil. You see? So anybody could in the States sell mango pulp frozen in the fridge, stack up a mango pulp, and when people want mango, they just come in to make the drink and with a smoothie, ice lolly, and got business going on in the US in different states. These are just business ideas to give people.
No, but what I'm saying, this is the role of marketing. This is the role, and this is what I'm saying. With the collaboration of marketing, the folks on the estates, collaborating with local farmers, and even just opening it up to the public, like they have opened up to take other mangoes from the public. Just set it up that what I mean, anybody could bring in any amount. You have a premium price for the specific varieties that you want. So like you were saying, okay, you want Amipali, you want Julie Mango, you want Graham, and you wanted the other one. Okay, you say we'll
Yes,
pay
and those things
a
those
dollar.
things used to be done before. Maybe things change, new management, different system, but those things used to be done before. Lang mango, all mango can make mango pulp. That's it. You see what I mean? So
No,
it's not
what I'm
about
saying,
selective, this is
they were
selecting that.
looking, they were asking for 4 specific varieties. When I went there, that's what they were looking for. They
Mhm.
said that they're
I got
taking
you, but that
these
the
varieties.
new
So what I'm
rules.
saying, no, but all I'm suggesting is, okay, you're looking for those 4 specific varieties. However, we still have thousands and thousands of other varieties that are just being wasted. So what I am suggesting is then, since those are the specialties that you need, and you're willing to take those, okay, you pay, and you're paying a dollar per pound or a dollar for each. I don't remember what it was. I think it's a dollar per pound or something like that, right? Um, for the others, though, you could say I will take them at 50 cents or even 25 cents. As I'm saying, just to bring it in and pulp it, because it's not a specialty that you need, but you have the space, pulp it, so they and then seek for people who just don't necessarily need a specific variety, but they just need mango pulp. So that you can get rid of that. And that's a market as well to get some of the mangoes that's been wasted and give some money to some local person who maybe wanted to make some money for the culturama, to buy up some clothes or to buy the costume or whatever it is and all that. And create some revenue, some spin-off in the community, because all of these are things, what I'm suggesting here are things that would help to have that spin-off in the economy and have revenue turning over, because the little man who's going to make a couple $100 by selling some mango is going to come back and buy from the little shop in the community and, buy from the little restaurant or, buy a little gift for whoever, buy the costume or, so this is just what I'm looking at. While at the same time, agriculture get a chance to create all of these value-added products. They can now help to sell to the retailers and or ship overseas and or sell to the hotels and supermarkets and so on. And at the same time, create that space for agriculture to show that agriculture now is not just taking money from the budget, but now can show that they are bringing in as much revenue, almost as much, and maybe even more than tourism, and maybe even CBA eventually, because agriculture have the potential to do that.
What I'm going to do, Yahsonn, and to the listening audience, is to get the farmer manager of the agro-processing unit, Mrs. England, to have a conversation like on the agro-processing unit when she was there under her, you understand, stewardship, and some of the products she used to make coming from mango, and you'll be amazed. You see, mango leather, like they dehydrate the mango and have it as a snack. Wicked. Just the same thing she'll do with the cassava and all this other stuff. You can't have enough mango syrup to stack around the shelf, you know. If you put 1,000 bottle of mango syrup in a ram shelf, or tamarind syrup, or sorrel syrup, or we call it the passion fruit syrup, the liquor from the four seasons call for syrup, know what you think of one bottle they want? A cases. Are thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars the young lady used to put in the agro-processing, you know. Right now, if the book empty, if they continue to stack, everything decline. This is how dedicated this young lady was and well trained. You see what I mean? When it comes to the mango ice lolly, sauce up ice lolly, guava, it's about 100%. No additives in the way talk about, you know. Till now, they go to the sports. These are the schools they must sell, go up there and buy and carry, sell them for that, sell the schools for $1. So the schools will sell these products. I mean, the ice lolly, instead of using those, that like them, by carbonated water, like the soda ice lolly, you get the fresh thing. This is what this young lady have placed in the agro-processing unit in a virgin. Fresh things, you know, even my home, they have it, you know, by the dozens. When you see they eat them half one time, virgin. Nearly about maybe 15 flavors or more. I'm telling you, the department have lost losing all the top people because of just bad mind. You just don't want to pay the people who have the talent. You're going to just base on a system, you not got nothing on paper, but you are trained. Well, training don't make a difference. So we got to school from the guys who got trained. So we can't have a bachelor and have a master's, and you train, and you got a certificate or whatever that are good enough. Well, the Minister of Agriculture when he got a diploma, he never qualified than anybody else. So how we have to a PS and to what is the call? So what is example really speaking about? So those who are hands-on doing the work, and those who got the paper who pass the test now do nothing, them a fail. So them who hands-on and make them who the paper look bad. But then you know want promote the people them. You fight them. When the people them move, everything fall apart. Everything fall apart. That's the reality. That's what happened. Everything will fall apart when those with the skill set and who have the love and passion and to help the community. That's what me go tell you when me say things. Me spend most of my time down by the abattoir, down by small farm, down by the vet. Me and every sector get along. Fisheries me in every area. Me not stick in one place. Up by the government garage. You see, me all over in the government. You see what I mean? Because I get along with everybody. So when I speak, I could speak on any side. Cause I don't hold sides. I don't see colors and all these things. We got to come better than this, my virgin. The wheel invented already, you know. All they had to the young lady need. But if you don't have the skill set and the know-how, and then how to lead the team to get the work from the workers and all these things, it's more workers over agro-processing now than what was there when the farmer manager was there. Rule number one, the general public have to understand. So the Department of Agriculture, I always tell them, you have a communication area department. They're supposed to be pushing all the areas in the department, especially marketing the department of the stuff that is the services that they have. The small farms, the implement of cost of plowing. You're showing a little video of these things, and I interviewed the manager and the cost of stuff from Clavicle, the lady in Clavicle, tell what these things cost. I to work together over agro-processing. The plant is there for the general public to use. If you have mango and you have golden apple and you don't want it to peel them yourself, you call the department, you call the unit, you say what you have, X amount of lime, sour sap, and whatever I want it to be pulp, I want the golden apple juice or whatever pulp. Don't you walk with 20 buckle if you got four bucket of golden apple, green golden apple. And when you go back, you collect your golden apple, they tell you, $60 because it's 4 hours or whatever. That's it. Simple that, you know. But if you not advertise these things to the people, you see how long we've been talking about this more than 5 years, You realize it, right? And you don't see a video yet. This is the reality. You have to have this information. You have NNC regurgitating every day as advertisement. The agriculture is a whole sector between the whole government systems. There's so much subsectors within that area. It's amazing. It's in the veterinary area. What services that offers. You see? All these things. Propagation unit, the grafting, I mean, quarantine, pest control, or their service that people want to go just come by the property if they have a pest problem or sotimol or aphids. They're not about mixing chemicals and spraying and stuff. And if they order something that is safe, they'd rather you come pay the department a small fee and get the service done. You see what I mean? You give the people the choices of the type of chemicals that is there and what is safe and what is different levels or whatever. Some okay, some use 7. 7 is highly toxic, but they're not educated about these things. So they throw 7 up on the windowsill and they breathe it in, poison off themselves. Highly toxic. And we have it in your house like it's something normal. These are, so we are poison. These things are toxic, but we keep the things out like it's nothing. We got to really educate. But we've been doing this over and over and over. But the department also have a role to have this information on the different media system, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, and TV, and different radio platforms, and all this different stuff. I guess I have to reach out to also to the minister, not the minister, the director himself, Mr. Elliott, to have a conversation about the Agroprocessing unit and some of the stuff that they process and how much things they have at this point, and if they have added any new products and all these things like that. You see, so the same. So we really have a long way to go. You see what I mean? We really have a long way to go, Yahsonn.
I'm gonna have to reach out to my friend and former colleague, Shariska, in marketing to come on the program and talk about marketing and some of the initiatives and some of the things that happen there, because sometimes to some extent a lot of things might be happening, but it's just that, like we are saying, it's not promoted, it's not advertised, it's not as you said, they're supposed to have a PRO department. They have access to NNC, they have access to even the program that the premier hosts and so on, because sometimes the Minister of Agriculture is sometimes the host and so on. So they do have access and opportunities to promote themselves. And we have also offered an open forum to and for them, and welcome them to come on the program and talk about anything, because if they come to us, any one of them come to us and say that they would want to be a guest on the program, we definitely will welcome them. And we from time to time reach out to them, encourage them to come. So it's not a case of lack of opportunity, but we are speaking of these things and are pointing out these things because we really want to see the differences. It's not about criticizing, it's more about seeking to empower those and share ideas and hope that it could stimulate. If you never thought that way before, or if it was, if you think it's a good suggestion, put it to use. We have no problems with that, because that's what we want. We want at the end of the day for us to be, successful in Navis and really, make use as much as possible of what we have and add value to some of what we have, so that we can create that space where even things that were not deemed as a crop can be deemed as a crop. Like I am saying this, Bankie, I'm thinking of something that I'm seeking to do right now. On the farm where I am, I find a lot of what the Trinidadians call shadow benny growing wild. It's called culantro.
Yes.
I think that's the terminology for it. Culantro.
The wild lettuce.
And it's more like it have a smell more like cilantro, but as I say, it's called culantro. Thing that has the spiky, some jaggedy edge leaves, and
like wild
and
lettuce, the wild lettuce with a stalk, with the flower. Wild lettuce, yeah. You got it. My farm lad, my farm loaded with it. My farm loaded with it. Loaded, come big man, tall, load down.
here's the thing, you know what I mean? It's a delicacy that's used a lot in the Trinidadian and Guyanese dish, but it is not
Yes,
necessarily cultivated as a crop here. You go to other places, and
yes,
I'm sure restaurants where these people cook, right? They would love to be able to, just like how they can go to a farmer and get all the other things. I'm sure they would love to be able to get that. So that's something that I'm seeking to, tap into in terms of, and it's a weed. It's grown as a weed right now, but it can be cultivated.
yes,
So, things like that where you can create your own niche markets and so on. There's so many opportunities in agriculture. It's not a competition. It's just an opportunity to do these things and advertise and market and promote yourself. So I'm really looking forward to next year that we can see an improvement and we don't have not even half as much of the wastage that we are seeing um, this year in terms of mango and other fruits too. Because as you speak of that, Banky, um, I think at around Culturama time too, the place like as we pointed out the other day, a lot of fruits were dropping on the um the orchard there at Cadesway. And that should have been pushed and promoted as a tourist attraction, at that time, allowing people to come in and even if you spend $10 or whatever and pick up as much as you want and something like that, I have a basket, I give them a bucket or something, and you
yes,
could pick instead of just allowing them to waste them, that could have been
yes.
something that they could have generated some money at the
Plus, you have
same
the
time.
schools. You had schools, and there's been 14 before school closing. Right now, my mango trees them done a fruit out and done a flower again. So make a mango in October again. And they make a mango in January again, February again. Right now, Mr. Apple trees they are load on a bit and then load back up a flower. And this is all your own thing. Virgin. Me know about adapt to how which part my farm set. You understand how you
So
breathe. It's just you be out and then try and flower again consistently. Just a cycle. Yeah. My every
so
probably should have
then
done a
so
got flower again. Blossom again.
yeah, I
Same thing
see
with the
that
Julie
already.
mango. They still got on. Yes, and this is consistent. I gonna get mango, like so. I get my mango in January, February. We culture my time coming down. So I gonna still have mango down to September, down to October upon some of the trees, and then October them trees gonna be up and start harvest off again. You see what I mean? Yeah. What trees don't bear off, I start flower again, and what trees have on still loaded. It take me down to September. That's what we should show you.
So and we still
Maybe
will have
October now. October we still have mangoes and some of the trees. Them
and we still have that issue with wastage of other foods because you're talking about and the orchard over there you have star apple, you also have wax apple.
sugar
I
apple,
think
sugar apple the also to carambola,
so.
and you still have
So you mean
mansiport. Mansiport a drop on the ground. Mansiport a drop on the ground and a spoil.
the other case, man?
Yeah,
Other
till
case,
I
man?
don't be out. Yeah. Where you think I get mansiport for the mango festival and all different stuff because it's a drop and a spoil. I mean, that's what me I eat. It hurt me belly. Yeah. This still make no sense, my virgin. So something a drop on the ground. You see what I mean? You see, when you have
Oh,
plant fruits, you gotta harvest, Can you have workers there, so just harvest them and drop them off by the agro-processing unit. You don't gotta wait. You just call whoever in charge. We just harvest this stuff, come for them, and you just come to marketing and marketing purchase them, and you make the transfer kind of money pass. You see what I mean? Everything just right up, boom, 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 and that's it. You keep your records. These you're not supposed to just get things there, and because see the manager, you just nobody just don't care, my virgin. You see, you have a minister don't
wow.
care, and it's something gonna happen. If you have a minister don't care and who just talk, and then talk and just lie, because right now the minister is just a Pinocchio. He's just a Pinocchio because he just tell pure lies.
You're hurting me heart, boy. You're hurting me heart listening to you right now, boy. Because it's like
These are
me
the
really want to
reality,
believe. Me no want to believe.
virgin.
Me no
These are
really want to
the
believe.
It's nothing to believe, is what it is. Believe me, you don't know. Me tell you what exists, what is tangible. I don't use the word believe, You dig? I deal with facts. That's the reality. That's just what it is. You see, it don't make no sense to grow things and then you still have the hospital there where you can go and donate these things and the homes. A lot of these things could be used in different ways. But yeah, son, we shift the thing a little bit of agro-processing, make everything was still intertwined. So all this is the same thing. When you see I put Indian castle that was developed, is for the agro-processing unit. So that they have that such high demand for passion fruit, for soursop. That's why I turn it into a fruit tree orchard with we kind of the smaller one gooseberries, because all these things they make jam with them. You see, they make jam and the jelly and all this stuff. They still make the syrup. So that is why I put this thing in place. So the agro-processing unit have their own farm in a sense, and whatever excess is there, it can be offered to the general public, because a lot of people come there and buy pomegranate to make pomegranate drink, soursop, and all these things. That's just what it's about. Because the money is in value added at the same time, because you get a higher value, because you change it from a state into a different product. And the same thing will goes, because they will still make flour with some of these things, like the mango and the mango leather. We just you can't have enough sauce up, my virgin. You cannot have enough sauce up when it comes to pulping. That's just one the rule over agro-processing. You can't get enough. Don't take it. Don't just take it. Well, that is what I know when the young lady was there at the time. So I'm going to make some arrangement with her. I'll reach out to her and see if she can come and give an overview, a synopsis of when she was there, how was management when she was there, and the extent that the level where she had met it and where she took it to, from $0 in the minus to in the plus, in the surplus. You see, when you talk about Timo, we talk about surplus surpluses. Well, here tell lie. We talk about real thing that exists. Surplus over surplus over surplus. You hear me tell you, from in the negatives that owing people things to paying off people debt to into thousands and thousands. And we say thousands, maybe now 1,000 or 2,000 and the 10,000 and the 15,000 and the 20,000. I mean thousands. So how can you let somebody like that go? Eh? You see the minister, they mean serious. And these goes from under Mr. Zook lead up into Mr. Evelyn. So it's just all them is the same thing, my virgin. You see? They ain't, and the same thing going in propagation unit. They cannot find nobody to replace the young lady who was in propagating Miss Vifos. Nobody, because Ben no train her. Ben no train her. You understand? One of the best propagator person when it comes to grafting. When the lady graft things, the percentage ratio is really high. Guarantee most of this stuff you're gonna catch. You may have one or two, fade away or whatever. But that's the percentage is. Brilliant. Gone. Me, gone. I tell the minister I'm gonna eat popcorn. You see, all of us sitting back watching the movie and looking at the minister. Minister can't talk. He can't speak, and agriculture is just pure lies. The farmers, they're going to help, my virgin. You see, farmers not going to help. If we're going to want to go to a sustainable way, what are the policies for water? Farmers should not be paying water because the government not waste the most water. So what the other farmers pay water for now? Once you're doing farming, you should not pay water. You can pay a stipend, whatever it is. But at the same time, what plans you have to allocate water when it comes to drilling wells and all this different stuff. You don't hear the minister of Mr. Brand speak on these things. You see what I mean? They're acting like farming, they don't exist. We're not going to eat the money that they have, the millions they have, and the more millions that they're trying to get. You understand? That's what they're focusing on, and not focusing on how can you want to move to improve food security, but yet you not find a source of water to get to these farms and to help and whatever to build wells or dams on these farms and different ways. I put these sources where the farmers can access it and invest in having these dams and water collection areas and all this stuff. A farmer don't want to ask you for the handout, because me for sure not look handout. And and the same farmers them on the island not look handout either. The problem farmers in St. Kitts and Nevis have is allocation of funding. All these you don't hear this up to now. You don't hear the Minister of Agriculture in St. Kitts, the Prime Minister, the Premier Nevis, or his deputy. Nobody speak about allocation of money for those in the agricultural sector or whatever it is, whether it's agro-processors, fisher folks, small or large ruminants, poultry, nothing. The poultry industry, they don't want water. So we don't encourage people to go, where they going water from? Where they gonna get water from? You must have to get water 24/7 if you do it poultry same way. Them birds eat, drink, all they do eat, sleep, drink. That's it. So and you must have you need water to clean up the place. So where are the policies in these things? Water management, the same thing. You got to have ways to preserve this thing and collect water and sporting out half of these roof, this poultry roof, because it's a building already. Are they collecting water? Are they harnessing water? The building is over 100 feet long. Minus the water tank. You see what I'm talking about? So they're just using these terminologies, my virgin. Me ain't one person come and use terminologies and not practice it, you know. Because the climate has a change. Don't think about the climate change. Let the all go. The climate has a change. Every day it change. You and your person every day you wake up. Every day you get up. You and your person. You're not the same individual. And it's the same thing with the universe we live in. Every day time is different. You see? Yeah, son.
Yeah, definitely. As we as we continue, right? Um, we got to look at also, as you spoke of the poultry um, project. That is something that has been on pause on Nevis and the Nevis end for some time. And St. Kitts, I think they would have started the hatchery. I don't know what is the status in terms of the continuation of the birds, but I think that was also set up to feed into the broiler system as well. So I don't know if right now that they're just kind of producing layers and supplying layers. I don't know what's the status with that, but it's sad to see that Nevis would have even started. I think Nevis would have started even before. I started to talk about and looking to invest in the machine before. And now 3 years later, we still have a machine sitting down, and from what I understand, is being paid to be stored somewhere. And we're still not too much closer with the poultry industry. I would have heard in recent times, however, that some monies have been allocated. I think the Taiwanese, I think, would have invested in some funds, and I think I'm hearing that some Canadian company is supposed to come in and build the facility that is supposed to house this machine. And so I look forward to seeing the progress and find out if this is just another, you know, one of those conversations that we may have to talk about 6, 9 months down the road, a year down the road. So a lot of it comes down to our people, though. I think we are too relaxed and comfortable with mediocrity, and even sometimes blatant disregard, and the lies, as you pointed out, and
Yes.
to some extent a lot of other things to Bankie, because anyway, as we continue, I think we'll get into that point when we get into something else down the line. So if you want to introduce the next topic, you could go ahead.
Okay, yes, so I mean, for those who are listening, I just say we just come out the festive season. And one of the things I recognize, because I went to the food fair around after about 12, 13, I stick there to around minutes to 2. And people still are set up. Usually food fair is supposed to be done full of people. You see what I mean? And then I come back. I could watch when we trap my farmers, you know, the traffic, everybody have to pass me on the main road. So when the bus me pass, I mean, they gone over by the the sea bridge, and most of them going by the car plate, the port where the islander is over at Oli, and line up over there and just come carrying our pass there. You see what I mean? Even the bus from Brickhill over Oli, them a go. And over this a pass back and forth. So when the thinking people start come over after 3, and then down the start get full. Me in the center everything, you know, so me could see the traffic a pass. A high a race, you know, the being in front of Virgin. If police was over there by me, right? Everybody get ticket. All the most of them get ticket, Virgin. It's pure because you're getting this is remember, and plus most likely it's $5 a trip either way. You see what I mean? So everybody hustling. So I was the anybody tell me I goes to the events. It's something I do all the time. It doesn't matter who in power. I go so the food free and this and different places and stuff like that if I feel like it. You know, if the energy is right and the kind of vibes. If I'm busy, I can't go. I got other things to do. That's just what it is. You see what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes I go and check out the parade and stuff like that, and I take part in the parade if I feel like it and do it, got my own troop and the kind of vibes and stuff like that. So that is normal. You see what I mean? But what I really buy the food fair, you ain't even have one vendor in there. I sell vegetables. You see? I ain't think like that. But you have a lot of art and crafts and all this different stuff. And the reality, I mean, I walk around, the people they're just not making any money. So if you just fill it up a space and stuff like that and adding in people, you see what I mean? Because if it's one thing people going to do all the time is always purchase food, eh? Especially with growing provision and people purchase food at any place. It doesn't matter where it's at. People are going to purchase food.
That's interesting. There was
nothing inside there. Nothing. Zero, nada, never, ever. And they are in all governments. All governments.
What about people cooking food and things like that? What about cook food and so?
Really, like the food fair? The food fair?
Yeah.
Well, the food fair, well, the people they cook the food and they grill. But talk about selling vegetables. You see what I mean? Say people cook and the food. No ground food, nothing in there, no stars. Yes, I'm gonna walk away through, you know. When we go places, I mean, observe me not one place, you know. Yeah, but that's the whole point. So other people don't get sale selling that stuff too. That's the whole point. So I see a man walking with the whole. Yeah, exactly.
The food that comes from and the farmer, you know, that's.
Yes. So. I mean, these are things I look at the same time. In something like that, you don't have nobody in there a showcase ganja, cannabis, not one cannabis tree inside there. You see what I'm talking about? Nothing like that. You know, see a distillery of somebody a brew, hammer or anything like that. Them kind of things, the cultural things. You got somebody in there, so like they got a bread oven or whatever, and the hot bread and. The kind of vibes, keep the excitement in the kind of like that, bread and butter, kind of traditional kind of vibe and kind of things there. Because them is cultural, hammer. It's cultural dealing with, you know. You see? So, but I've realized we've reached a point where it's like we just turn everything into politics, my virgin. We turn everything into politics. We talk and say, oh, politics is not a CCM, is not NRP one, and is not this one, is all we want. That the whole water. Because the evidence don't speak and shows that way. Because I was shocked to somebody tell me that a minister had on his CCM shot and a dance up himself and or something. I mean, I'm another young lady and I'm disappointed when I see her doing stuff like that. Because you just, I mean, if you want to attend people and you want to have on in an event like this, well, you can. Well, it means somebody either have to tell you to do it or you choose to do it. You know what I mean? Premeditating, all these things is set in mind because when you do stuff like that, it just don't look right in the presence of people. Because you're being straight up, being political, it's all saying a statement which you want to attract. You know exactly what you're doing to do something like that. Which means it's a don't care mentality that is. You see? So you can't come in and say, it is not it, and you're showing what it is. I remember one time it happened again in a long jam, you know. Because I'm saying all these things. You see, because the minister still went back again and said Culture Rama was the best thing ever. And if everybody's saying this is the situation, because I get along with everybody, my virgin. I get along with everybody. Nobody can say I don't get along with everybody on the island. So I hear it from everybody's perspective. And they're not happy. And the most I get the perspective from is those who support the government. You see what I mean? Those who want the premium is close, those who want the brand is close, all of them. You see? I had a conversation with one within the tourism sector. You understand? And because he used to take part in the cultural committee and stuff like that And you know what he said? Those at the top is who control everything. You hear what he say? Those at the top who control everything, micromanage. So you could don't then tell what you got committee and had all the plans you and all the ideas you want. Don't overrule everything. No. So you work. Them they not gonna work. This not gonna work. Don't get here no work. That's the problem. So you see, you could say I'm on a committee, and they could come out and say, "Oh, and bring your best ideas forward." Is all crap. That is not true. You imitate them things is not true. And a matter of fact, it's true that somebody tell me, boy, them man job is to tell lie. I say, what? Them man get paid tell lie. We say, what? It's just like you can't come make up the things. I say, boy, the man enjoy, the man reach to a point, just telling lies is just a part of the vocabulary. And they say nothing wrong with it. Because you can't tell me you can be in such denial. You understand? Yahsonn, culture is all about food, When you don't dance, when you do not drink and eat, that's the reality. It's all about food. The 99% of what is just food because you must eat. You still have to eat. Whether culture or not, it's still the next day. Rather than they got to eat. We got to eat. You see? But we're not seeing these things. We're not thinking like that because we are being bamboozled to focus and just not thinking that before you go out, you must eat. When you did trucks them with all the party thing, no food in there, food, rum, juices, whatever it is agriculture is at the helm of it without the kind of energy. And they're not seeing these things. They're not bringing up the agricultural part of it. They're not seeing it. And they see a minister is the minister of agriculture, is in charge of culture. Yeah. So you see, he's not seeing these things because he's not conscious enough to see these things.
But that's why
he's not at that level, my virgin.
When I look at the Mango Fest, right, and I'm saying the Mango Fest is just before the Culturama. And here is it that you're going to have mangoes going through Culturama. Most cases you are going to. That should be like a no-brainer to seek to encourage people to continue, restaurants and so on, to continue to make use of mango in the ways that they would have seen highlighted and displayed throughout the Mango Festival. So the chefs with all of these fancy dishes and the bartenders with all of these mango drinks and, as you mentioned, get the Agroprocessing into making all of these wonderful products that they would have had in the past, the mango roll-ups, the mango leather, the mango ice cream, the mango ice lolly, the mango popsicles, the mango, all kind of different things that you can seek to market during that time. And as you mentioned, the pulp can be exported. So when some of these people come in and they taste the mango, you can let them know, hey, you can carry back a box of pulp with you. We work with whoever, whatever clearances you need to get from quarantine or whatever you need to, just make it happen so that they can take back. No, you might mute. You might mute it.
It's frozen. Even if you ask of a phytosanitary, it is just $5, and that's all it is. And that's it. You see what I mean? It's simple, just like you travel with fish.
No, it's a no-brainer then. So then it should be marketed. That's what I'm saying. That should be married, yes. So you can show the marriage between agriculture and culture. And as we are saying, it's the same minister who manages both. So leading out the Mango Fest, and all these mango products should be leading up to Culturama and beyond for the whole summer. Make it a mango summer. I mean, until you go down to, so when Culturama done, you still push these mango products because you got so much of mango pulp they could still continue make these things that they don't start to get accustomed to. And after they start using them from June go down, they start to eat the ice lolly, they start to eat the ice cream, and they get these alternatives. Then sauce up come in, you eat the sauce up too. Sugar, whatever sugar apple come in, you make sugar apple. Whatever foods coming along, you work and you create these other products that, man, I mean, I don't know. We are sharing these ideas, and I'm hoping that those who are at the helm could really take some actions, and we don't see this happening next year. As you're talking about Mansiport, how could Mansiport be dropping on the ground and wasting? Bankie not serious. Bankie said, Mansiport, 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 Bankie say, So why is that place over there if they have these things over there? When these foods are in season, they don't put on some kind of promotion to encourage people to come out and sample these fruits and so on and things like that. Ah, man. Like, you guys want me to come and manage down there for you guys and start to implement these things? I'm putting up my hands, anything for agriculture, I'm here. Mr. Eric Evelyn, Honorable Eric Evelyn, Director, Assistant, Acting PS, Marketing Manager, whoever you all are within those ministry, Director, whoever. I'm putting up my hand to help. I don't want to just be criticizing. I don't want to just be talking about and sharing the suggestions from outside. I am here and I'm willing to work. I'm willing to do anything to help with the agro sector and to make agriculture become one of those sectors that is bringing in just as much revenue as tourism and even the CBI. I know agriculture have the potential. And with that said, cannabis also help to give agriculture that additional impetus to become, like I am saying, to become that industry that can effectively compete with tourism and even the CBI in terms of bringing in additional revenue in the coffers of the government. And for some reason, I find that our governments, and I say governments because NIA for sure is not doing absolutely nothing in that regard. And this fall again under the same Minister of Agriculture. There's actually nothing that is being done in that regard. Absolutely nothing. And we ain't gone to the enthusiastic side of things yet. So here is it that you have an industry that can help to propel agriculture into that position where it is making just as much revenue as tourism and maybe even more. And similarly with CBI, and we know now right now that the CBI industry is a fickle industry. It's creating a lot of issues. There's no guarantee that it's ever going to get back to that point where it was in terms of bringing in that level of revenue for the government and for the country. And so here you have an opportunity with the cannabis industry. But we are lapsing big time and lapsing in some ways that only the government can be blamed for what is taking place. So here you have an industry where you have decriminalized the industry. You, with all the legal minds and all the luminaries and all the scholars that you all have around, you all have not, in some cases, especially where those areas that are under the Ministry of Ecclesiastic Affairs is concerned, have not sought out any regulations in relation to the benefits of the people. And what is so sad about this is the fact that those areas that are under the Ministry of Ecclesiastic Affairs are the areas that Sankofa took the government to court for, or took the chief of police or whoever it was that he took to court, according to the case, and was successful at his case in those regards. The government has up to push the medicinal cannabis side, which is the side that deals with the taxes and making money for the government. Okay, with that said, some of the regulations are in place, but on the other side, there's none. And on the Navy side, we don't even know if there's an arm or a representative of the Ecclesiastic Affairs branch and navies. So the divisions who should benefit from those aspects might have to go to Syncits to apply. It is really and truly sad that our people are sitting back and seemingly getting so accustomed to the disrespect of not being consulted and not holding these people accountable and making sure that they come and demand accountability. That almost everything has been taken for granted. Because, for example, I met a big official in the police a couple of days ago, Bankie, and I had this conversation with him, and I'm saying, bro, um, there needs to be a moratorium in relation to cannabis because the laws have already been gazetted. It's not our fault why you have to come and talking about you're trying to pull up trees. Things are in place. If I want a license right now, even for the 5 trees, I can't get it because not because I don't have money to get it, not because it's because from the government side they have not put their regulations in place, so you can't go and get it. So then why should I be punished because of a right that I have, but because you have not put your regulations together, I have to be punished in the interim? That is unfair, very unfair. Because it is you, I can't go and get the license because you ain't set up yet. But it don't pass in law that I have the right to do this and that
So,
and that.
so, so who fighting against their people and who have the truth, the foot in the name the people truth, is not the same policymakers, those that we have the
Exactly.
leaders, the same ministers of government. Them is the one. These are willful acts on the virgin. These are will. You see, the minister of agriculture in navies have not uttered a word about the only way they uttered about cannabis is that the federal government is taking the lead. That's the best you're gonna come up with. When was I asked
So,
him, that's all it is, put it.
so
That's all it is, and they
why
will follow. Okay.
why Banky only me you and me here coming and talking these things? Why those who are being affected um and are stand, and I'm not just talking about the users, I'm not talking about cannabis users. I'm talking also about those who just may be empathic, or those who may see that, well, by, there's nutritional benefits, by there is medicinal benefits, there is textile benefits, there's benefits for me to make a money out of this industry. Why are they not stepping forth and saying, by here is an opportunity for us to make millions of dollars. Here is an opportunity for the agricultural sector to be more vibrant and be in a position where the ministry now can even reinvest some of those monies into areas that are of utmost importance without even having to depend on getting additional funding from the budget and so on.
Yes,
It,
son.
it, it just
What people gotta
bothers me.
realize, eh? The people them have to realize when the cannabis authority speaks, they have to listen attentively and realize, as they say, it's just a limited amount of license shall be issued. Well, then I hear that. What do you think? You want to have unlimited amount, like you have a license to have a backhoe or a taxi. We don't have unlimited. You have open up a shop, I go do pizza, anything else. Unlimited, it means you're not in our issue. The state of Barbados have opened up first, just one. It ain't have no more than only two in the state of Louisiana, only Southern University and the other university, which is that state, Virginia Tech, not Virginia Tech, sorry about that. Two university, LSU. LSU is Southern University stiff competition. when it come to athletics and when it come to athletics and stuff like that. But still, the university have them don't pack when it come to the cannabis industry. So the university have more than 7 stores throughout the state of Louisiana, where LSU only had 1. You see, no other people businesses have no cannabis in the state of Louisiana. So waiting happening in St. Kitts, they know who don't give the license to. So you think you're a license, me are a license, Sankofa are a license, I are a license. You understand? Everybody got license? No. No, so them want to deal with this. They've done to limited amount of license, and that's how it is. So they know what the intention is. So who gonna get license first? If Marriott want a license, Karambola want a license, all these big businesses want a license, well, he doesn't wait to tell about partner. You can't force you to partner with nobody. So I know come in a conversation there. Can I tell Karambola and Marriott partner with nobody? Somebody come be disrespectful to me to tell me what to run man thing. Me want to hear them crap virgin. You understand? Free up the herb, my brethren. As some man talk. Them is nonsense. You see, him. Them who don't know about herb got the most say about herb controlling the herb thing. Them who fight herb are controlling the herb thing. Mr. Hanlon, them a Christian, this they be. You understand? In charge of ecclesiastic and all kind of something. And them want that's why they not do nothing about it, virgin. Every can them not like herb, not like ganja. You
But
understand?
Banky,
So how you put in charge of ganja? You
here's
make
the
any
thing.
sense?
Whether they like it or not,
Well, they must
they've
show
been
it. They
paid.
can't separate the emotion from these things,
They've been paid
virgin.
to do it. They've been paid. It's a part of their portfolio. And if they're not dealing with it, that means they're robbing people. They're robbing us, the people, because we are paying them to do a job that they're obviously not doing. And the fact that we are sitting back and allowing, Banky, that brings me to another point, because they're sitting back and allowing things, right? Earlier on today, I was listening to um, the guys on Groundings, Juni Labor and Sam and Mr. Martin, Dr. Martin, right? And a good part of the debate and the discussion surrounded the fair share, right? And the constitutional argument and all that. And they brought out the whole thing exposing all of what we would have been talking about here, right? On our platform, right, Banky? But here is the thing. In listening to all of what they would have highlighted and pointed out, they fell short of saying that the Constitution was breached, the law was broken or is broken, and nobody ought to do anything about it. So, even up to this point, because they talk about the arrangement that was in the Constitution that was dismissed. And as you pointed out last week, yes, Nevis opted not to continue it, but both of them are accountable, are culpable in up to this point. So here is it. We are asked to respect the Constitution as the highest law of the land. We are asked to, if we seek to break or breach the Constitution, the heavy arm of the government, because the government is in 3 arms. You have the legislative, you have the judiciary, and you have the executive. So now you have the judiciary getting down on us. Now in this case, you have governments, not the average individuals, governments colluding to break the law. So if they're breaking the law and they are opting to break the law for all these years, and we the public sit back and watch it, because when they spoke today, this is one of the things. When I think the point was made, I think Mr. Kanda was like, "But yeah, it has been done long time. It's common knowledge." And technically, yes, it is common knowledge, but here's what I am saying. If the law, which is supposed to be, if the Constitution, which is supposed to be our highest law on the land, is broken with such punity, then what does that leave for? And again, I bring that up because also it was pointed out that that is what was happening for all these years in relation to cannabis. And that's what Sankofa case pointed out as well, that the Constitution would have been breached by all them police and all of them who were harassing people for cannabis all of these years because they didn't have a right to do it. However, in this case, the law is breached and the police are harassed nobody and nobody harassed nobody and nobody saying nothing. But here is an argument now in relation to sharing up non-taxable revenue. So the question that I have and that I am begging to get a response to is if the law, the constitution, the arrangement that is law is broken and there's no repercussions, what is to guarantee that any other agreement
Yes,
that
and
is not,
we have a call coming in.
yes,
Let me take this
would be
call.
or should be respected or given any respect if that part they ain't sort out? Yeah, we take the call.
Carl, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, man. How you guys doing tonight, man?
We good. I'm good. We're good. You know what I mean? Just giving thanks.
Yahsonn, what's up, man?
I'm good, man. Giving thanks.
He literally don't be hearing me when I be talking.
Yeah, he hear you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he
but
would
I can't hear
he
him
would
well.
be able to hear me.
No,
Yeah.
you can't hear him. You know, you all can't hear him.
Yeah, okay, no
But
problem.
I'm hearing you.
Okay, let me take off the headphone, then you're going to be able to hear if anything, I guess.
Yeah.
You
So
got-
definitely, man, I love this discussion. That song just gone straight to where that he was listening to Grounded this afternoon.
Yeah.
And my little Grounded there with the guys, Junie, Sam, and kind of. Yeah, I was listening to, and what's so revealing in that is that, like, just like what Yahsonn is saying, I'm just backing him up. I'm echoing what he just started saying, right? This fair share, revenue sharing, whatever we want to call it, right? It is spelled out by the Constitution. And for all of these years, up until this day, if we still gonna be quarrel bickering over fair share and still got this debate going on, nobody's obeying the law. It's plain and simple. I guess from the Navy side, Yahsonn touched on this before, whether it was Mark himself or Vance, they changed the VAT arrangement and they changed one of the revenue sharing arrangement, especially I think when Four Seasons was money on Navy side or the offshore banking was bringing that money. So when them man deviated from that arrangement, the man is breaking the law again. If the Constitution is the law of the land and these guys are not abiding in the Constitution says, in terms of the fair share and the revenue sharing, I mean, where we really going? We ain't going nowhere. This is why, and then it leads off to the Sankofa case. The Rastaman went and fight the case rights to the herb and whatever details. I mean, I'm not that knowledgeable with this Rastaman and the marijuana thing. I'm still picking up that knowledge, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is that he won the case and still you see that the man violating his rights. So there is no law in the place, or they got law and nobody's following the rules and regulations. Man, if the Constitution is flawed, because that's what we're seeing, the Constitution is flawed. If the Constitution is flawed, everything else under the Constitution concerning governing is flawed as well. And the judicial system is going to come into play. Because here we have these top politicians disciplining and breaking the law of the land, the Constitution. And our AG, who's the legal man, they have some deep. Well, the AGs along the way. We have Sam Kanda in the studio this afternoon. He was a part of government's cabinets before. He was the deputy prime minister at one point. Mm-hmm. What did he do in relationship to this? Did he contribute? What did he do in relationship to this? So if we have these guys now are complaining and they didn't do what they were supposed to do when they was inside, they all have failed us, man. All these politicians leading right up to the ones we got right now, they have failed us all. They need to be replaced, and we need these independents to come forward. And I'll leave it there, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, man, give thanks.
Yeah, Banky, I'm glad the caller made that point to the end so that people can understand that the point that we are making right now is not limited to the government that is in power right now. Because as Mr. Kanda would have pointed out earlier on today in the show as well, that constitutional breach would have been way back in the 90s. I think it's somewhere back in the 90s that they stopped sharing the tax revenue. When Nevis was doing very well with the offshore banking and those kind of things, they decided they were making so much taxes in Nevis that they decided that whatever they make they're gonna keep over there on Nevis.
Yes,
And so
yes, I know how can you make a decision like that. Why would the federal government go along with something when they say, why would they say, no, we cannot go along with it because you're going to be, why would they go along with it? So it's both, all in this thing together in a virgin. Why
but that's what I'm
would you
saying.
go along with these things?
I am in agreement. I am in agreement with your point. I was just pointing out.
Yeah, but I mean, when Sam them talking this nonsense, when Sam them talking this nonsense, as if like people can't comprehend things for themselves. You see what I mean? Yes, they're going to read and say, well, yeah, I mean, we're 98% whatever literacy, but what they call literacy? Because either mean if you could just read at what level are you reading at? What are you when you read, do you understand what you're saying? Because they know a lot of the people they push them to in the high school finish high school can't read. How is it? They failing the people them, children them. How you can enter and finish high school and you can't read? You see what I'm talking about? And these things happen all the time. I got up to 1A4, 1A5, 1A6, 1A7, 1A8, 1A10, and it goes to the same up to 5A1 down to 5A10 or whatever in St. Kitts and other thing. So what they're talking saying, when them is a part of the system that allow these things to happen, and then the same youth not come out of the system, instead of skill them, have a trade school within the high school system where they're good at, you understand, and see what the youth them like and the kind of vibes. No. The focus on academics and got a favorite students in the class, which family come from, and this and that, and donate to the schools and wherever, then I keep about your children and them. Me go to this year, I'll go to the same school system, I see teachers get a favorite and they this and that, and some other children don't like and that kind of vibes. So that's why I have a policy where children need to evaluate the teachers every quarter. At the end of every semester, you test them, so you evaluate the teachers. A blank paper, they fill out the information, some questionnaires, 10 questions. How did they receive the information? Did the information made easy to understand? What type of, simple question. Yes, no. If 99% of the students speak, no student supposed to fail a class. No student supposed to fail a class. You can't be telling teachers, children, you don't learn, okay. Oh, really? So you get paid for to not care? To get paid for not care? These are the nonsense. I have a youth in high school, so I see what the nonsense that they do with my youth, and then we have to watch a boom, 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 and they kind of vibes. Most of them don't have the interest, my virgin. These are just the reality. You see? You have to, because when you're in college or university, well, how come the guy to grade your lecturers? Well, it's different because you pay.
Banky, like you're breaking up. But great point. Definitely a great. I don't know what's going on your end, or if it's your end or if it's my end, Banky. But one of us breaking up. I wonder if it's me. No, it doesn't seem like it's me because it seems like I am live still. So somewhere along the line, Banky seems to be having a little bit of challenge on his end. But yeah, great point, Banky. And we do need to have that evaluation of the teachers. Of course, I really pretty much love that idea. But yeah, man, the education system on a whole is pretty important because Banky, if we don't have a more informed society, then the politicians and those at the helm will continue to get away with whatever they're getting away with. And this is what is baffling me. How something like the breach of the Constitution could be treated as if it is nothing. How could, for all these years, a breach of the law by the highest people, what example is that setting for us? How you want to come lock me up if I break the Constitution when you breaking the Constitution blatantly? And as we pointed out, on both sides, because yes, you could say Navis is the one who chose to stop. But what? Federal ended to say pull back to say, hey, no, this is the Constitution and you cannot break the Constitution. You should not break the Constitution. We have to find a way to fix this or figure this out. So then both of them are just as guilty. And so this is the whole point. So this argument has to be put in place, and this is what I think people need to understand. Why I guess even though the premier was talking about a sixth farmer can, you know what I mean, deal with this fair share argument and so on. This is why the prime minister had to take a step back and say, hey, let's do a holistic review. Now, the other thing though, for me, I am questioning if that review by the World Bank comes at the cost of us, the public, if we have to pay for that review, whatever they come to the conclusion with. The reason why I'm asking is because when you look at it, if we have to pay, to watch our governments break the law, break the Constitution, then come and argue for fair share out of what is not taxable. So you break the tax law, you break the law, then you come and try to argue for what is not taxable. And you already would have signed a Charlestown Accord in relation to that same decision that you made in relation to what should be at least an arrangement that is made in relation to that same CBI. And then now, if we are paying for that World Bank report, then we are paying. What are we doing really? Because we know the law is being broken, or has been broken, and part of what I am trying to figure out is if they could go as far as breaking the law in relation to this fair share, in the sharing arrangement, what other agreement you're going to come with that the Constitution is supposed to be the highest? And if you're breaking the highest, what else can you bring that is going to be so credible that you ain't gonna break it to? That is what we're trying to figure out. Because the law, the Constitution is the highest law of the land. And our governments for 1990, whenever, when they opted to, when Nevis opted to stop sharing.
The Constitution, well, since 1983, them a fight against the right for using the herb. So what you're really saying, them put it in place and they were fight same thing.
So, okay. And Sankofa took them to court. And Sankofa was able to point out, Sankofa's case was able to point out that for all those years they would have been breaching the Constitution. So the judge gave the government 90 days in order to seek to do something to adjust or redress to some extent the breaches that were being dealt with. So at least some sort of justification was done in this case. In this case that we're talking about, and this ain't a civilian, this is dealing with the people who are supposed to be the upholders and even the creators and crafters of these laws. And these leaders have opted to just break the law and has broken the law for all these years. And now, and this is what I'm saying, people need to understand this whole context when the fair share argument comes around. Because if we're not going to be putting these things into the argument, then the fair share argument is going to continue to be flawed. And we are going to be just hearing little bits and pieces. So, though I agree with the Prime Minister to have get an independent report, I am disappointed that if this independent report comes at a cost of us, the taxpayers, because the law was broken. And to me, if that part they ain't fixed and no efforts were made to fix that and are made to fix that, then you can't come really talk about this one over here in terms of the non-taxable. Because the law is the highest. And if you don't break the law, then me know what else. I could see then why the charge on the card was not agreed to and or any other agreement agreed to. If you could just break the law just so and get away with it. What else is left? What else is left? And that's
But you gotta
that's where I am.
realize that is why the premier referred to when the prime minister said he going to the World Bank or whatever. He referred to as a six farmer or anyone from it because the constitution or he has to go back to the constitution. Don't show the population ratio. Whether it's 26 in Nevis, you understand? And the other percentage didn't sink it. Because that done is engraved and written in stone. So that's where he gonna goes back to that. Just so he must consider that's just and take out as I take out the fees and the taxes here, whatever it is there, and shave up the money. Yes, son, these guys knows this thing, you know. So if you speak like this, they all know, but them all laugh after we play game. That's all it is. Don't suppose you see Timothy and Allen start up again and asking something. All gains the people them and the people entertaining the nonsense.
That is why, Banky, we have a responsibility to be able to bring these things to the fore so that the layman, the little man on the street, who ain't went to no university and a university.
I want to play a clip and show you how the seriousness who tell you that our leaders taking us for a joke. I want to play a clip somebody send me. Go ahead. Because the people who over us are going on. Let me see.
What is going on in terms of understanding what our leaders are doing, what games are being played. Because if you break the law, if you are breaking the law, are you breaking the law? Are you who we elect to put the laws in place and seek to ensure that these laws are upheld and respected? And you are breaking them. You are breaking them and no repercussions and telling people blatantly, oh yeah, that happened years ago, years now, and it's common knowledge. Yes, it's common knowledge. Because I know that it happened long time ago.
You see what talking about break. Okay, look, remember, you know, listen this, listen.
Yesterday. Say, oh, I hear a fella making noise yesterday. Say only 4 women I could have get to going from his culture. And I really did not know what to say to him, so I tell him, well, you should have shaved your legs and enter too. I hear a fella making noise yesterday.
Oh, you laugh.
If you may actually tell a man so for you?
You hear the fish come out the water and tell the boy shark in there. You ask the fish if shark in there too. You say ask the female says you hear the man say so.
Maybe an AI, maybe it's an AI man, maybe that's an AI recording.
The man says upon his show live Wednesday, you know what talking about. The premier cuss off all of we say, are you problem? You know go to Culturama. Are you a problem? Are your mother problem? Are you boycott Culturama? Are you wicked? And I say I love Nevis. Them man not take fault for poor promotion and all these things. Them man blame and a curse the people. You see, me went out and me still get cuss. You see? Me should just show you. Me went out, you know, but me still get cuss. So let me hear you again because you think me make up things. Because me ask me what me say me ask me what well the premier something when you do the premier something no cause the premier cost me no cause me do it so I understand up here and then the minister of culture on calling and then entertain other and hip hop how lovely culture was and the good crowd and this and that pure lies again. Tell the real Pinocchio you have to start calling minister of agriculture Pinocchio because that's all you still pure lie. You see? They're taking out the rod upon the people. All right, listen again, eh? Can me not make up this,
Say only 4 women I could have get to go in for Miss Culture. And I really did not know what to say to him, so I tell him, well, you should have shaved your legs and enter too. I hear.
Yes, son. You see what I'm talking about? So, which means,
Yeah.
you see what I'm talking about, right? And supporters will entertain these things, and they see nothing wrong with these things. If you have nothing good to say about the person, you just just be quiet. Cause he saying no to say, ain't it? He saying no to say. So just leave it alone. Then don't respond. But you don't ask him about shave your legs.
Right, Jetty, you're killing me, boy.
Suppose the man been backs up the premier to tell him that kind of things there. You understand? If you're gonna drink a beer and throw the beer in your face or whatever, we will say he get assaulted. Well, the man defend himself in the man's space. If you in her arms reach within a man, you're in a personal space in a virgin. I hope people understand these things, Which means you have a right to defend yourself because the man, you disrespect the man. You're calling the man a jack queen or a woman or accusing the man to be gay. Because why would you tell a grown man something like that? Because I know a man can't continue with kind of things there. You see? Yeah, he can't continue with the things because there's consequences. So he can be bold with it. Me not have a problem with that neither. But then you'll have a reason to say, well, what happened to you? Well, what we look so? But I bet you don't tell nobody else so again. Yeah, so you have to do it because people believe they're blunt. You be blunt too. You respond with what they say. In every action is a reaction, because these is not good things when to tell people, brethren. The man is not telling nothing wrong. Is it truth? It's 4 people in the queen. Should the man not lie? The man ain't lying. So what you tell him I make to be the 5th? Well, so the people could have gone and be the 5th too. But you see, he has a problem with it. You see, it's still good. So they have no issue. The issue are the people. Don't call you complain. You're the issue. You're not gonna say. Accept what it is. It's perfect. Sing the chorus and that's it. Virgin.
Well, as you talk about that, and this is part of the problem. But as I listen to Sam Kanda today, right? A lot of what he said today I resonated with me, except for a part that he was talking about taking out some of the clauses that relate to 113 and 110 and some of the clauses that really benefits the less are those who could be advantaged, so to speak. However, a lot of the other things he mentioned.
Say he want to take it out?
Yes, yes. So those are things that I didn't agree.
When you speak like that, when you come to the people and the people have consultation and people have a vote and if the class should stay or if the class should take out, what do you mean?
Well, he said that they should be removed, but he said that in combination with that point that he was making, because that is what I was about to say, that I agree with him with. He was saying a lot of the things that government do, that they need to and they needed to consult with people more. And he was talking in relation to even this fair share document that was.
Why he never done that in the 20 years he was in there? Why he never done all these things? Why these things have not been done?
Well, that is a question that could be asked. However, what I am saying is, hearing him saying it today, though, like I said, what he was saying resonated with me. And yes, that argument could be made that he was there before and he could have done it when he was in power and a lot of these things. But at the same time,
we're not taking serious. None of them.
When I take it serious or not, he made some salient points that I am in agreement. So even if only to the one he says so and he ain't mean it, the fact that it was said and I was able to hear it, it resonates with me, and I'm sure it resonates with a lot of other people who probably would have been listening earlier on today. And so, like I was saying, though, that is one of the things that he spoke to. He was saying that in a lot of the cases, that governments need to be more consultative. And in relation to that,
really,
let's say,
all of a sudden no, 40 years later, this all of a sudden no. When you don't make millions
well,
about the boards of taxpayers and all these things, don't hold national security, don't hold all these portfolios. You're coming to me 30 years later when me you them done a different generation, 27 and up there. When me in a high school and when you in a power, tell me this kind of crap. Virgin, you're talking to the young person. Me no want to hear nothing you have to say. Me could listen to you, but me not take you serious. Can you just talking for yourself, my virgin?
all right. I hear you then. Let me take out some out of it then. Let me tell you what me say then.
I think me mean, you know. Yeah.
I said what me say. I said what me say. What me say
I got you.
is
Yes.
I think that we need to have more consultation and in relation to that same report from the IMF, from the World Bank.
Yes.
I think that something like that should have been brought to the public even before they went to the World Bank to say, hey, look, this is what we want to do. This is what we think we are going to do. Get the consent of the people, get the report, and then come back to the people and say, this is what, give at least enough time for the Premier in terms of diplomacy, the Premier and his cabinet and so on to look at it, and then come back to the people and have further discussion. No, and bring it to the public. My thing is, when I look at what has happened, we heard from the Premier that even a six farmer can do this thing. Then he campaigned for nearly 2 years about this fair share thing. And then we hear, I think it was somewhere in January or something, that the Prime Minister said that he would have gotten back the report from the World Bank. He held on to it for a while because everybody was saying, well, he don't get it. Why he don't give it to the Premier and so on? And that was part of the argument. Then, somewhere in March thereabout, we understood that the document was given to the Premier. Now, if this thing could have been easily sorted out by a six farmer, why is it that it is still in the hands of the Premier for all of these months? And after about 2-3 months, then we're hearing, well, the numbers don't match with the figures and they didn't consult with them. And these little things that's coming up months after something that you said World Bank didn't even have to report on because it should be so easy to deal with. What is it that is keeping the hold back? What is it that is really and truly? And so instead of us having to ask these questions, my thing is, we the people, we the public should have been consulted and should be a part of the consultation because they're supposed to be doing these things on behalf of us. We have gotten too comfortable with people doing things on our behalf without consulting with us. And we need to be able to change that.
These 3 cabinet members in the federal government, well, them and the Prime Minister don't have lunch together and they're on the same flight together and they eat cheese and drink wine. But when we talk about from a flight from Florida to Qatar at 16 hours, and if we catch a next trip, continue to go to somewhere else, and next 16 hours again, or 10 hours. So what they do on the flight when they're up on each other? Just put a shoulder upon each other and go to sleep? What they talk about? None of these things, yeah? So, what you just about yourself, what you dealing with, Virgin? I work with you, you give me one thing where you just a baby feed me, so no, this is not going to work. So I not going to conversation, yeah? So when you come out and act like, oh, nobody consult, you're not about what you even consult with me. What you dealing with? You don't do what you ask with me, you ask World Bank. What you dealing with, Virgin? So wait, this man don't talk like us. So when they got all the provocative word and F and this and that and this, so they talk, talking about what they talk so to each other. So when they talk insane. So when the man to buy, you're going to the World Bank. So you're not a Virgin. What F World Bank are talking about? The Constitution and put things in place. They work with that. So the World Bank come out now. You're going to say, well, me to consult me.
Bankie,
huh?
how can he say that when he is the one who starts constitutional arrangement. And this is part of what I'm saying, and this is why I'm saying the argument for fair share
Yeah, but
was
you can
flawed.
go back to that again. But the man still go back and tell you the 6 farmers can work it up because you go back to the same constitution again, you know. So the constitution tell you how to share. So you said that, but he said the same thing too. But he now look at the point that at them stop it. You see, so not them, you know, both all of them agree to it. That is the whole point. So all of them doing the wrong thing at all the time, playing games with the people. Okay, look at this. Geothermal gone as a federal asset. A federal asset. Fine. Well, what is Navy's share? What is Sinking share? Well, we're not talking about that yet. Well, what kind of backward things is this? But you want 430 something million to go do drilling and this and that. Well, then you still need the next the money to this. You don't know how much you're gonna cost. You can cost 10 billion. You don't know when you're going down. You don't know nothing. But you entertain the well, I not entertain the kind of things are virgin. These things are
Well,
madness.
at
You
the end of
see?
the day, whatever it is that the government, the NIA, is going to do in relation to that, the loans or the funding have to be backed by the federal government. So,
Yeah, but yes,
you
son,
know,
you don't know what is the sharing arrangement for the geothermal. We not talk about it yet, but it is how the federal. I mean, what is that? You're working backwards. That is sure you're gonna have issues again. The people gonna come and say the same thing again. Let me take this call here, yes, son.
it's a,
Hello, welcome to Everything Agriculture Show.
Hey, yeah, good evening again, man. I just wanted to get back in nice and easy with you guys. Yeah, I like this discussion tonight, man. You know, the fair share issue. And Yahsonn is really putting it forward really good, you know. And the grounding show this afternoon, you know, even though I like the sun was on the inside already, I still listen to these cool guys, you know, so I can grasp that information and that history and that knowledge. Yes, and he was actually really bringing forth some great points. You know, he's looking for the reform in the country. He's looking for constitutional reform, the boundaries and stuff like that. You know, electoral reform. And you know, like Yahsonn said, you know, he was more on the side this afternoon that the fair share issue and this fair share report that they have now gotten is that he is saying he would have wanted the discussions to be more, you know, fruitful, going into the neighborhoods and the communities, town hall meetings, etc.
I ain't convinced, Carla. I ain't convinced. I ain't convinced. These guys just go on the talk shows and just put the people emotions with the talking points. No, I see things. I see things different. I listen to people. I could see the behavior. I watch the body language. Everything. I don't just accept things like that. Car your word don't mean nothing. I watch your body language. Everything about you when you're speaking. Manipulation, trickery, lies, pure lies. Those things are planned. These things are planned before they open the mouth. You understand? Scripted. These things are scripted, but continue.
What I can say towards that is, it just seems like these guys are faking the people out. Because if they really wanted to see certain things done, they would just do it instead of so much talking. Man, we talking so much on here, it ain't funny. I've been talking on the radio for about at least 5 years plus. I know they have persons on there that have been talking for like 20, 30 years. The politicians, they're not listening to the people that put them there. Our politicians, they don't have the integrity. They're selling out the place, and they're not representing the people that put them there. And it's a constant cycle. You know, we should have been further on as a developing state. When we talk this talk, you know, we went independence 42 years this year. And we can't get a cross and a T off a T, or put onto a T, or a dot and an I taken off or added to the Constitution. So we still live in this kind of, you know, illusion, man. Like, this Constitution is outdated. You see, and it's all politics, because Bankie and Yahsonn, the idea of us going republic is just a political plight again, because if we have a flawed constitution that needs to be changed, and nobody wants to do the work to change that for 42 years this year, they're not going to do the work to get a new constitution, to go republic either. So a lot of this stuff is just a lot of talk, a lot of political games. They're faking the people out. You know, like, this stuff is appalling, man. We see what Abraham Traore did in 3 years. This federal government meaning they're now for 3 years. You know, and they're still keeping the corruption going and everything else. But I'll leave it there, man. I'll let you guys keep going, man.
Appreciate your comments. I mean,
that's my piece for the night, man.
Yeah,
Thanks
man.
a lot.
Respect. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. Still there? Thank you. Hold on a minute.
Yes.
Please. Let me something else just came to my mind. Okay. When we talk, okay, Yahsonn was pointing out, right? The fair share again. Let me touch back on that. But let me ask the question: who paid for that fair share report? Isn't that taxpayers' money that paid for that report? So if it's taxpayers' money that paid for that report, and the citizens can't get to see that report so we can interpret it for ourselves, you know, one thing I'm gonna say my piece tonight, man.
But Carla, did they say they paid for the report? Did they say they paid for the report? And how much it was?
I don't have that information. I'm putting that as a question to you and Yahsonn, because who paid for that report? Taxpayers' money?
But who?
Did the Prime Minister take money out of this?
But what I'm saying, who said it was? They have to pay for it. I don't know. It was a grant. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't have that information either. I'm just more like questioning that, really.
All right. Okay.
So basically, what I wanted to say from the Nevis end is that the premier, right? He seems to be the pioneer. He's not really, the fair share didn't really start with him. He just like kind of twisted terminology around. Maybe before they were saying revenue sharing, but he knows bring up this fair share idea, and he's pushing it. And he said certain things about it, right? But after this report is now in, it seems like they're hiding this report. This report should be made public. But one thing I want to say to the premier is that he is complaining still. He said that he wasn't consulted. And the next thing that is appalling to me that he said that there is local numbers from the Nevis end that wasn't figured into the equation. So I'm asking the premier, if you was pushing to get this fair share done, right? Why didn't you submit the local numbers from the Nevis side so that you can put Nevis in a more advantageous position? So there, again, that's a failure right there. That's a failure. I want to point that out vividly tonight. If he wanted this fair share report done, and he didn't submit information, numbers, local numbers from the Nevis side that would affect that report, and he did not do it, why is he complaining after the fact? That in itself was a failure. And I'll leave it there, man. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes,
you know, Bankie.
This thing, you're right, is just having adult people wasting energy and their time, and me ain't one of those person gonna entertain this kind of crap, because it's all crap. This thing ain't a whole lot with me. This thing now gonna excite me, and because we know better. You see, if I know better, you think I going down a road, I gonna come on to the level of a fool, to act like a fool. Okay, me know somebody is a fool. Me gonna come down the level. Me stay my level in a virgin, because they both choose to break the laws. They both, I'm telling you, nobody, not even a comma big change. But now these things, me not play the game. Me ain't doing it. They not talk to me, because me not entertain it.
Hear this, right? Hear this.
Yes.
Since 1983 or 1984, all of these politicians who we would have had since then, all of them, and some of them were legal.
Yes, so let me take this call again. You have a next call coming in. Let me take this call.
Yes.
Carla, good evening. Welcome to Everything Agriculture Show.
Good night, Brother Bankie.
Yes, good evening. How are you doing?
Good night, Brother Yahsonn. This is Winston. Welcome here. I will must spin on something, and I'm going to be straightforward. Bankie, never. You argue with a fool.
Of course.
Because if you stoop to their level, they're going to beat you at their game.
Exactly.
You ain't cut out for that.
Yes.
So you ain't in no crap. And I ain't in no crap with nobody.
Exactly.
Let me say this. I don't have no time to waste and criticize these guys who are already going on a road, a dirty train, and try to drag people them. As we know the word fool. Okay? Let me put it this way. I want to make a proposal, a mandate to the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Nevis and St. Kitts should be treated equally, okay, equally in anything that is there, because we are two island, one federal. Now, I say to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, past Prime Minister made their promise, and they hold on their promises to the people. And that's a lie to the people. I need to say, and you're free to criticize me if you disagree. Like we are working to have independence in this election, which is so interesting. Okay? And independence, wherever you are, come forth. Because this is an easy walk over. Because of the nonsense these incumbents been doing from generation going back. Now, I personally will take the leading role to St. Kitts and Nevis. Should I be elected and selected to be leader of this federation, I will give each and every native millers of $3,000 to start off with, to say thank you for the native of the Federation of St. Kitts. Following that, Harris had offered $500. Everybody couldn't get it, everybody didn't. I am making an offer to every native, $1,000 moving forward. Every month, the money is there. All this money the CBI made
But Carla,
should have been given.
Carla,
Yes.
you heard the gentleman MSR Media says so much billions are there. Each natives can get up to 15 to 20 towards the US, and you're gonna say $1,000. So you see these things in consultation. You see what I mean? That much money
Let me
there.
just what I'm trying to say.
You see what I'm talking about?
What I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Right. What I'm trying to say.
Yes.
I don't know the wealth. I don't know the financial wealth of federation.
Yeah, well, the MSI man who going towards, who taking the government to all up to the US and stuff like that. He speak out this information over and over all the time, that this is the amount of money that is there, that each citizens can get up to 15 to 20,000 US. You see what I mean? Whether it's every month or every 3 months, so that's the amount of money them and they are waste and a hide and a smuggle. They know what they're doing.
Bankie, we have to be careful when we make an offer. I'm not saying the offer I'm making is open for amendment, for adjustment.
Yes.
But what is $1,000 right now per month for every native? Remember, every native wasn't getting the $500 that Harris had to offer. I'm now giving every native. Okay, so that's bigger than what and more than what Harris was given, and a dividend to start off with, to say thank you for being a native. $3,000, but it's open for adjustment. As Bankie in your seat, to the discussion with you for agreement. We farming the new administration. We have to be in harmony. This is only Winston Welcome speaking. I can't speak and dictate for anyone. We all have to come to an agreement. But it is a good offer moving forward until we win our seat. And we shall win our seat. Now, all the needy needs for the federation, health care, education, the whole infrastructure is just left for enhancement. Okay, have to have a budget for everything, employment, for everything. Every man shall get work in the country. And like I said, everything that being offered by me is open for an amendment, for a readjustment. So I don't know what you take on it, but a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush, because they don't have nothing now. If they get something, take it.
Yes, but I don't look
Moving
at things like,
forward.
no, I can't speak like how you're speaking. I can't say whether something is not, what is owed to me, whether you're giving it to me 30, 40 years later, it's still owed to me. It's just like,
Yes.
I been fight against because I use cannabis, being locked up, being humiliated. If I come off the boat, you want to harass me. You're infringing on my rights, brethren. So no, you owe me reparation. You can't tell me no, or I'm going to give you a quart. No, I got to see what, if I would deserve $1 million, $5 million, I got to make sure go the extra effort to do the right treatment. The treatment give much. These things don't work like, I don't see things like that. You see what I mean? That's why everybody. So you got to consult. So I'm not gonna agree. You're giving a man $1,000 because Timothy give 500 to some people and now you get 1,000 to all native. You know, you can't. You have to do things properly. You got to consult. That is your own opinion, not my opinion. That what you say you're gonna do. You know, so I argue to that.
We cannot have. We don't have access to the actual financial report.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. But you don't know so much you're give. Say, you know, men I say maybe not name. Yeah.
Here's what, right? I think the caller.
Let caller go ahead. Let caller go ahead.
If you will say,
Yes.
you will say, hey, Mr. Welcome, we could do better than that. Hey, I am on it because I am all for the people and what the people need and deserve. So it may be. And if it shall be said and agreed upon, so it shall be done. Because we are going through a process to make ends meet and make amends with the people, harmonize the country. Bankie, if you have a better offer, I wish I could offer more. But that was just a number coming to my head, and I think it is affordable and it is available.
You have nothing to do with me. When you finish, I'll speak. Yeah, go ahead.
Up to those thieves to go in and dig as much as they can dig and take as much as they can take. But remember, they are on a microscope.
Yes.
And I am going to say, should the Labour administration lose their election, okay, and I take leadership of the new administration along with you and other independents, or to whom it may concern, these guys cannot leave St. Kitts. The passport is null and void because there's going to be an investigation and I'm going to shake all your packet out from east, west, north, and south. This cannot go. The ill that done to the Federation, it cannot be going ignored. All these leadership, they are in serious problem with the new administration. I am no nonsense. I cannot forgive. They have to suffer consequences for the ill they do to the Federation. I will leave it there for now.
All right, appreciate Carla. Give thanks for that.
Thank you.
Yes. Yahsonn, we thank the caller for his call. But you see, I'm the kind of individual, Yahsonn. You gotta. I like to consult, look at the information that is there and what is owed to them. They deserve $20,000 a month at them one. No mine, everybody one. That's how me see things. Me not gonna say I'm gonna give you $500 because me no work like a sub-virgin. Me not gonna say next me the next. No, me no work like a so. If 8 of us come together, then this made who you vote and this who is the right person to lead or whatever and stuff like that. Me not say me leader made this. Me no go things like a so. I like to consult. Cause me no yes person and nobody think me with nobody else say. Me no in a that. You see what I mean? Me not jump out or me a lead. Me no them things. Me no speak like a so. Me listen and I speak for the information. I too old to be bamboozled and to be controlled. Now go work. Me not switch up. You see, we have to do these things. Yes.
I love the exchange between you and Mr. Welcome because both of you are running as independent candidates. My interjection was only going to be as a result of the fact that he called in kind of at the late moment because we already passed the 2 hour mark, you know. So I was saying, you know, what I wanted him to do. And I just wanted him to finish up his point so that, we could, because I wanted to engage him too. I wanted to engage him on a number of things too, but I'm gonna let him, make his point, and then we get into some of the comments, because we didn't even get. Yes, we didn't even get into some. So we have Jetty Taylor saying, well, Mark and Gaston is known for being very brash. We have Aaron Otto Heiliger saying, greetings. Jetty Taylor says Sam was there too. Sam and Dr. Martin are paid advisors on a talk show. We have Janet Grell Hall had a point here. She says, where is that comment gone again now? She says, there is a Nevis Island Assembly and there's a federal government. Where is the St. Kitts Island Assembly? Is the federal government the St. Kitts government? Unless we have a proper federal constitution put in place, the nonsense will continue. And all of this is about those questions in alignment with the reform of the constitution. But here is part of what I am thinking, Bankie. Yes, the constitution needs reforming, and I will get into that point before the caller calling. I was about to say that we have all of these legal luminaries who are part of these governments, a lot of top lawyers, and some of them still there up to this point. And all of them say the constitution flawed. All of these top scholars, all of these top lawyers keep saying the constitution flawed. To the point where they ain't just say it flawed. They opted to take actions and break the law, break the constitution. And they have broken the constitution. They who supposed to be upholding the constitution have broken the constitution and have done so with impunity, no repercussions from nobody, no federal government, no attorney general, no governor general, nobody who's supposed to oversee, and no repercussions from us who elect them either, because we are the bosses. And we have watched the government over the years, the governments over the years, breach the constitution, break the law, and then no commentary about fair share. Jetty Taylor said Freedom Radio is the radio wing of labor biased views. Okay. Blame the people of Nevis for having the same federal reps as the NIA reps. This should never happen. Until they change the law that you cannot be in the NIA and federal at once, you will never have proper representation. Janet Grellhouse says, do you realize that the NIA sit on the opposition benches in the federal government? How can this work? Jetty Taylor, last government, you didn't have an NIA because the NIA was part of the federal government. Just like SK was represented and you didn't get your so-called fair share. Jetty Taylor, main division, and I could say Navy started this problem by not revenue sharing when they had the upper hand and see it come back to bite them. Jetty Taylor, again, welcome. A talk like how Dan King did Ali. Only man millions and another man was broke coming out of jail, and so he gave him 10 cents on the dollar. But we want to make sure people that we do pay attention to those who made the comments, and I'm sorry that we didn't get to engage you earlier on the program, but we do usually make time to pay attention to the comments and feedback. So John Grellhall, in relation to that comment about the Nevis Island government and the federal government, yes, and that is something that I think people need to understand, and I guess that's kind of part of the issue that we have, because we have a Nevis Island government, but we don't have a St. Kitts Island government. So the federal government technically is seen and functions as the government of St. Kitts, when in reality, St. Kitts don't have a government. St. Kitts don't have a government. According to our federal structure, or our governmental structure, St. Kitts don't have a government. There's only a government of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Nevis Island government. So ideally, we should have had a Nevis Island government, a St. Kitts Island government, and then a federal government that sort of looks over the two. But as we are saying, the Constitution has been flawed. We have all these legal luminaries, and even one we have right now, because the Premier is a top legal luminary, and he is one who is saying that up to now a comma has not been changed from the Constitution, and they are the ones who have the power to do so. So it begs to lend into the argument that I keep saying, that the status quo benefits them. They don't necessarily see the need to change the system, because it is a system, though inherited, and though they claim they inherited a flawed system, it is flawed to their advantage. And so they keep, and then plus, if I could break the law, if I could do as much as, okay, I mean, I don't just do things that I ain't supposed to do. I ain't just not consult with you. I just ain't disrespect you. I could break your law, your highest constitution, and get away with it. And what else I can do? What else I can do? So, people, um, that's basically how I'm going to wrap up, this edition of Everything Agriculture. I hope that you really, were informed and, touched by some of the topics that we brought to the table. I'm hoping that the government and the officials in the Ministry of Agriculture and Navies and on Sinkits as well could listen to our suggestions, with a grain of salt, and don't get up in your feelings and get all personal. Just take it as these guys really want to see better for the country, and so they're giving some suggestions. They're not just critiquing; they're also giving, solutions. And I hope that they can take it in. I also want to encourage folks to continue to support Tafari's Plant Nursery. We are setting up, we are seeking to plant 10,000 fruit trees by the end of the year, and we want you to support. Only $10. USD, if you're outside of the Federation, you can adopt a plant. You can pay for a plant, and if you want us to donate it to somebody specifically, or if you just want to adopt it, and we can tell you, well, okay, your plant is tagged and it is at this location, and you can get updates on it to see when and where it is and how it is growing, and get pictures and stuff like that. We want to be able to have that aspect as well. But we are seeking to bring back some of the same thing Bankie talking about, the Mansi Port, the custard apple, the sugar apple, the English plums, things like that sour up, the golden apple, all of these things that shaddock, all these things that we had around and we're just not seeing much of anymore. We're seeking to bring that back and encourage folks to have them in their yards. Think legacy. I want you to not just think of food security in the sense of planting the tomato and the cabbage and the short-term crops and so on. I want you to think about your great-grandchildren. That when you plant that mango tree, 100 years from now, your great-grandchild who might have just heard about you could be able to say, "Bah, yes, Grandpa Yahsonn had planted that mango tree, and now great grandchild can eat off of that mango tree." And so that is the idea and the concept behind me pushing this fruit tree project, and I look forward for the continued support. I can ask for more support from people like Shaba's Organics, because that's one of the locations that you can pick up, plants from if you don't want to come all the way to Fountain. Shaba's Organics have been on board from day one, and they would have brought the truck up and have taken down a lot of the different fruit trees and different even ornamentals and stands. So you can pick up some at Shaba's Organics, and we want to continue doing that because the whole idea is to get as many out, and we don't just talk about agriculture. And that's the thing, we're not just talking about it; we're actually doing things to help to solve our situation. So, Bankie, our closing. Give thanks to the Real Entertainment team. And we see you guys next week. So, thank you.
Yeah, Yahsonn, I just want to say, in everything we do, we got to change this way how we have been governing our people. Where we have put politicians in place, our leaders, and they come together and make decisions without consult. They do not consult. And you can't be, if you're going to check out one party, whether you're independent or not, if one party, whether they give $5 or they just use a pick and choose who pay social security and whatever it is, we got to see things comfortable, look at what it is, and do things the right way. We got to change the whole and put policies in place that can be always be amended and stuff like that. Let me take this quick call here, Yahsonn, and then wrap up.
Yeah.
Caller, can you make it quick? Can we wrapping up? 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, I think I'm happy that called in, man. I want to say something real quick. When we talking about the fish here, right? Back in the days when the man went independent, their own government. You know what I mean? They got them clauses in the Constitution. And as I listen to that caller right there, he made a point where back then, when the Navy side was negotiating when they went independence, why couldn't they just say, bye, we is 2 islands, we want half of the money. When it comes to that fair share, we want half of the money. And I'm going to indicate why I'm saying that. Is that if Nevis infrastructure was falling behind sinkers, it would have given Nevis a fair chance to get their infrastructure up to speed like sinkers is. And then to bring it fast forward now, we need people in Nevis to be managing our money right so we could make such claims. And then right now forward today, any discussion between sinkers and Nevis should be trying to get half of the money because it's 2 islands. We bust it down the middle straight up, 50-50. And then the chance that we didn't get back then to do that, when Sim Daniel then was there and they didn't get half of the money, we can get it now at least for a period of time, 10, 20, 30 years or whatever, so we can get Nevis infrastructure up to speed. And I'll leave it there. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you. Yahsonn, I mean, actually, if you with bread people in, these people went to school for 2,000 years, you know. With all the years, them we put them bread scholars, or you get 2,000 plus years of schooling, you know. Them more brilliant than God and all. You understand? So, me ain't trying to figure out with these people and the things, because them do the most schooling, all them got doctorates and this and that. Them no care. Call things what it is, my virgin. Because when they come back out openly and telling you all this nonsense, and me for one not entertain nonsense, virgin. When you're carpenter, you measure 10 times, cut once. You can't waste paper material. You see what I mean? I give them a $1 million project. Me not waste the material. Me give them, they have way up there, sit down. They have this, sit down. They have all the me not waste material. Me not waste time, but they waste my time and energy. I could be chilling, relaxing myself. Me not entertain them things here. Them man, I can artists. These are mafia systems. You see me trying to show you? That's how it is. Because you see why I realize, you know, you see Arlen talking I done here tonight? I are the problem. I don't know how you say, I just vent, I gonna get cuss again. You see? That's what I mean, I entertain it. Them man gonna cuss all you who call and say all these things. You understand? Even if they come out and say, no constitution, never been, not even a been changed. I are the problem still, you know? They don't still cuss then nobody take account. Then no, you know, you realize how this man is the virgin? Them man, I shift the blame to them. Them man not take no accountability. So when some attack this and some attack that, some them when the incident don't see these things, they're blind. No, there is a play with your emotion. Me too wise for that. They can't even play by my 14-year-old emotions, much less mine. But you then too wise for that. They could talk around and who entertain the crap, but all the talking is crap. And that's the way it is. The money is serious, virgin. These men just getting paid and pan some board and pan some other this and that. That's what they're talking, so. You see what I mean? The money is serious. But Carlos, we appreciate, you all tuning in. It was a very good show. And continue to listen and continue to share and subscribe and tune into next week Tuesday for the topics and the following Friday for everything agriculture. And we continue the conversation. We got to hold people accountable, Yahsonn. I hold myself accountable for in everything I do. So, Ira, we're gonna call it no. Start play the music, and we forward. So definitely give thanks for those who tuning in and all the comments and everything. Jetty, long time city, enough respect. Good seeing you, bringing in, you know what I mean, your reasoning and so forth. Yeah, man, enough respect, Yahsonn. Ira.
Yeah.
Inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and Company alongside Yahsonn Tafari. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Yes, man, easy. Inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything